At Direct Service Overhead, we know how much trust you put in the individuals who have the privilege of working on the components of your home. We understand that a broken garage door is the last thing you want to be worried about, and most of the time, doors break at the most inconvenient times. Our professionally trained technicians service 24 hours a day, and our high-cycle parts are guaranteed to make a noticeable impact on your garage door without putting a damper on your wallet. If you're looking for need of assistance maintaining your current garage door, our team has the experience and expertise to deliver the results you deserve. Give Direct Service Overhead a call today or visit us online to learn more.
All right. I want you guys to know I took a shower right before going live. So, I'm smelling good. I feel good. I feel crisp. And I did this all for you, so we could do this thing a little early. We're not going to be live tomorrow at 11 because of school cancellation, or AMI as they call it these days. So I changed my mind. We were going to do a 12 p.m., and then it was like, wait a minute, tomorrow might be hectic. So let's just go ahead and do this tonight. So if you guys are ready, I know I am. 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans everywhere? Welcome to the one and only Pig Trail Network YouTube channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you're doing well. Again, if you're just now getting in here and you're like, what the hell? I fully do not expect a lot of people in here tonight. I don't. This is out of the blue. I changed it. I told you guys on Twitter and YouTube and Discord. I said, well, we're going to do this tomorrow at 12. That's what we're going to do. And now we're doing it tonight at 6 p.m. So, hey, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. We're early for tomorrow. We'll just look at it that way. Do me a favor, if you guys haven't already, like, share. Sharing is caring. You guys know that. Sharing is indeed caring. Subscribe if you haven't already. The links are provided for you down below. That little downward arrow. I don't like that YouTube changed that. I miss the old days when you knew where it was at, but now you've got this little arrow directly beneath the screen. If you're looking for links, that's where you can check those out at. And of course, shout out to our Discord, our sponsor for the show. Would not be happening without these guys. Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. And, of course, Patreon supporters as well. You guys also help this thing continue to flourish. Direct Service Overhead Garage Door Company. What makes us one of the top-rated local garage door repair companies around? Well, how about same-day services, emergency 24/7, 365 days a year service, free estimates, quality parts, affordable outcomes, hundreds of 5-star reviews, and better than the best results. Give them a call at 501-244-3667. Again, that's Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. So, and I'm going to be straight up with you. I was about 90% done with the show. There's some other stuff I wanted to go in deep. I wanted to go in deep with tomorrow. I wanted to go pretty deep, and I am wearing my beanie because the hair is wet. I literally just got out of the shower like 20 minutes ago. I'll give you a preview. That's what it looks like. It's a little much. So yeah, and I know someone's gonna make a comment about the camera angle. It is different. My wife has been in here. She's been working from home because the roads are so bad. So she messed with my dadgum camera. And now it's just, But thankfully we're doing this. We're getting all this done tonight. Let me read chat. How you guys doing? How you doing? John Hawes, yo, what's up, man? Lee Dunavant, what's up, Ty? Patrick, how you doing? Ramon Shiesty, Ty, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well, Ramon. What's up, Dragon Slayer? How you doing? Austin, it started at my house 4 beers ago. Uh-oh. Talking about the party, getting the party started. Muss ain't leaving, says Tyler Broadway. I guess that you're talking about the article. If you guys didn't know, there's an article out there from Maryland's 247 page about how Musselman's not real happy at Arkansas. It's the biggest. The guy that wrote that, if I remember correctly, actually once upon a time ago wrote for Ole Miss. I don't know who his connections are. Who's telling him that Musselman's not happy here? Just get used to this. Get used to this, okay? And that was actually the other 10%. That was another piece of the 10% of the show that I don't have done, which is talking about that article a little bit. We might dive into it just a minute. Again, you guys know how this goes. I have no idea how long this stream will go for. I'm not lying to you. I'm freaking starving. I ate an early lunch. I haven't eaten anything since. I'm really hungry. Fat guys got to eat, man, or we'll cave in. We'll cave in we'll collapse within ourselves like a dying star if we don't eat. That's just the truth. Yeah, but you're going to see these kind of articles. We've already heard it from Louisville, and now you're hearing it from Maryland. Look, guys, that's going to happen, right? You've got a successful coach. Everybody wants them. They're going to post the biggest bunch of bullshit you've ever heard. Woo Pig Dustino, what's up, man? Looks like Dow Loggins is headed to Kentucky. That was the rumor. I've not had an update on that. That is also something that's out there. Dow Loggins interviewed for the Kentucky OC job. At the moment, I have no update. So, Dustin, you know more about it than I do at the moment if that's the case. I'd heard he interviewed. It sounded like they had other bigger names they wanted to go through. Look, and I can't even confirm that he for sure interviewed for the job. It could all just be smoke. I don't know. What's up, Jumpmaster Scott? How you doing, man? Thanks for the show, Ty. Rock on. That's right. Will Lennox wants to know, is Ty Washington Wheeler playing for Kentucky? We'll get into that in just a second. Joe, are you going to get a Flow Sports subscription for the weekend? I don't know, man. And I've heard, too, do not sign up for the $12.99. I don't know if this is true. Maybe someone can confirm this in chat. But if you the camera really is zoomed in, isn't it? And I can't change it now because it's too late. But it is really, I'm not digging this. So not only did my wife mess with my camera, it's not all on her. OBS, the online broadcasting software, had a huge update. I updated it this morning because thinking I have all night to deal with it and I'll deal with it tomorrow. I think that's also what's going on here. But I don't know. Discord's where it's at. You're not lying, brother. Wait, are you live? Well, yeah, I'm here, Tony. I'm here. Oh. They take it all at once. There it is. There it is. They take it all at once. If you just do the monthly, yeah, it's like $25. So you want to do that. You want to do the $25. Don't do the up one because that $12.99 one it's going to make you subscribe. So just a heads up, okay? And in that case, if that does happen, hey, you've been warned, and it's on you at this point. Muss has already built something here, and next year to begin the payoff. He'd be crazy to leave right now. Remember what Jimbo said about his A&M incoming class. Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think Muss is going anywhere. I don't. Louisville is a good job, although they've had some drama. Obviously, the Patino years, and since then, they've got some NCAA scrutiny. Also, we missed this last week, and again, I'm not shocked, but we are not going to have a playoff expansion until 2026. I wanted to do a rant on that so bad. I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold off. That might be something I do in the off season. My issue with all this, even though I know it's the hot topic. Well, it wasn't really a hot topic. It wasn't really ever trending. But let me see if I can fix. I'm not digging this camera angle, y'all. This camera is just killing me. Do we do that and then we just go up with it? Maybe. Do we go up with the camera? Maybe a little. I don't know. The beard that my dad, Arky56, loves to hate. He doesn't like my beard. I like my beard. We need a big athletic big man like the big man from Kentucky this year. You're gonna have to be a little more clear on that. What do you mean? Like, are you talking about Jay Will leaving? I don't know. Do you think Arkansas has chances of winning the game? Says Chris Slate. Chris, we'll get to that in just a second, my man. I always try to read chat, try to interact with you guys as much as I can, and then try to answer any questions that you guys have. That's what I try to do first, and then we get into the to the news. If you guys hadn't heard, Ryan Mallett, former you youngins who are like, wait, I know that name, Ryan Mallett. You have to be really young though, and if you're that young, I don't know what you're doing here. This was coming from Luke Matheson. Former Arkansas quarterback Ryan Mallett has been hired as the football coach at Whitehall. So good for him. Look at him go. Look at him go. Jeff Goodman, the one and only at Goodman Hoops. My top 10 for National Player of the Year. They're all having incredible seasons. Award is as wide open as ever. His top 10, Johnny Davis, Oscar Shibwe, and we're gonna get to know Shibwe here in just a minute. Keegan Murray, Ochi I can't pronounce your name. Agbij. I can't pronounce that name. Anyways, Drew Tim, Kofi Cockburn, Jaden Ivey, Walker Kessler. There's some familiar names on here. Ben Mathurin and JD Note. He added JD Note to that list. I was a little surprised. From Jeff Goodman, I was a little bit surprised. Ochi, or is it Okai? I don't know. I can't pronounce your name, bro. Sorry. Yeah. So we have that out there. Some other really interesting stuff. This came from someone on Twitter at TK Hogs. I don't know who they are. I like their logo though. That's pretty cool. Got a cool logo at TK Hogs. Go follow him on Twitter. He's got a really good point here that he made. Again, that's at TK Hogs. Before Musselman, Arkansas Hoops had not been to an Elite Eight since 95, been higher than a 4 seed since 95, haven't won at Florida since 95, had 3 consecutive 20-win seasons since 06 to 09, Signed a 5-star recruit since 2013. Signed a top 10 recruiting class since 2011, according to 24/7. Yeah. Yep. Like I said, I wish Mike Anderson the best, but I don't miss him. Don't miss him. Musselman's just he's killing it. He's absolutely crushing it. All right. And again, because we are missing a little bit of this show, I'm probably going to try and steer Chad as much as I can. John Haas says, I mean, that kind of makes sense, but it's still ass. They gotta run out the contract because the Bulls already determined and expanding would require new contracts. I don't know. Regardless, it was on the table. It was something that was up for debate. The 12-man. I mean, if you listen to the people who've talked about it, they could have absolutely made this happen. So it was never a moot point. It was never it was never going to happen kind of thing. It literally was. The expectation was it was going to expand. Again, I don't have all the details and all the information. I've heard something about the Pac-12 people. Something I don't know. It's just a little bit all over the place. And I did not. The reasoning that I briefly kind of read over, I saw last week where it didn't get approved, or that someone on Twitter had said it's not happening. It was a blue check mark person, someone who actually belongs and deserves to have a blue check mark. With sports media had said that it was passed up. There wasn't a link, so I didn't follow up on it. And then I caught an article today about it a little bit. I did a little bit of speed reading. I'll just say that at the end of the day, it's they could have absolutely made it happen. Again, from what I understand, it could have happened, and they decided to move on. One of their concerns was, and while this sounds legitimate, and I understand the argument, which is straighten out the house before you expand it, kind of like we need to straighten some things out before we expand the playoffs. But that sounds like such a bullshit excuse to not do something. Like, how did it get this far? And then for you to be like, oh, you know what? No, we got to figure out this NIL stuff. We got to figure out the transfer portal, immediate eligibility. Like, there's so much more that we have to get figured out before we expand the playoffs. Like, what are we talking about? Someone help me out with that. Like, what, how does that impact? These things can be separate, right? Those things can still, there's a lot of things you gotta get fixed in college football. How about SEC officiating to start? What are we doing? I'm going to say this, and I've heard the arguments for the 14 playoff, and I'm sorry. Kirk Herbstreit, who said that, it takes the how did he put it? The energy out of the season, right? You could argue that the other way around, right? If Cincinnati loses a single game, even if it were to mighty Notre Dame, if they lose a single game, they're out. They're out, and their fans know that. Not only are they out, they'll drop in the top 25 polls. And we're talking about a program that at the moment is not in a Power 5 conference. They're done. Their season is over with. Are people going to tune in to watch that? Or are they going to tune in to watch this team that continues to stay undefeated? They might have some crappy matchups, whatever. They did play Notre Dame this year, and I forgot the rest of their schedule, but they had a couple of decent matchups. But at the same time, the drama was it goes out the window. As soon as they lose a game, they're done, and they knew it. And we know it. So I think you could flip the script on that a little bit and say, hold up, though. Wait a minute. And you could say the same thing about, how about some of the other teams in the conference that don't play the other side of the conference? You know what I mean? We've seen that before in the past where the second best team in the West could probably beat the shit out of the team that just won the SEC East, but they're not going to get their opportunity because Bama and whatever team's going to get in ahead of them out of the conference, or Bama and Georgia. A 12-team playoff would give you the opportunity, and I'll tell you another reason why some people don't like it outside of the conference. Their fear is that the SEC would dominate the playoff, and they're not wrong. They're not entirely wrong there, although the SEC didn't exactly have a great year during bowl games. But I would argue you got to look at opt-outs at that point. And last I saw, and this could be wrong, but the SEC head-to-head matchups almost always had more significant, not necessarily more opt-outs, but more significant opt-outs than the opponents that they played. Mississippi State didn't have Crossplay, who might be the best left tackle in college football. Now, I don't think he makes that much of a difference against in their bowl game where they got blown out, but that is one example, right? Arkansas didn't have Treylon Burks, which was a huge loss, right? You didn't have Trey Williams, which, say what you want about him, he was at least a chess piece on the board, right? You didn't have him play against Penn State. So I would argue that, in fact, more players, this is the other advantage to the playoff expansion, they're not going to opt out. How many players opted out that were in the playoffs? Does that mean there's going to be no opt-outs? Of course not. But it will have it'll have a greater impact on those that consider opting out, and that I think the proof is in the pudding. Joe says my buddy tells me Muss is an average coach, and Juwan Howard is way better. Well, I mean, Juwan Howard might have a longer reach. I don't know why it's hard to expand the playoff. They would make more money. I don't understand it either. I could. It's beyond frustrating at this point. It's like fans want it. Okay, fans clearly want it. There's programs around the country that want it. I do think it's better. I will say for the 4-team playoff setting, I think has had a overall pretty negative impact on the rest of the bowl games. BCS bowl games, and look, I want playoffs over BCS bowls, and I'm not trying to advocate for more BCS bowls. I'm not trying to advocate to bring back BCS, but I felt like those games mattered. You felt like you were achieving something, right? Like we made the Sugar Bowl. That was a big deal. That was our first BCS bowl. Now all these other bowl games are just so meaningless. If you expand the playoffs, maybe you add something to that, right? Now there's something to making the playoffs, and you have a better shot, obviously, with a 12-team playoff. Dragon Slayer says Super Chat. What about it? Yeah, I just read Super Chat. Is there more? Am I missing one? Because I only see one. I was for adding more teams till I heard Josh Pate's take on keeping it at 4. I guess I'll have to listen to it. I've heard about every exclamation that I've heard for a 14 playoff. I get that now it's super duper unique, and it's an even bigger deal for teams who, like Washington or Cincinnati or Notre Dame for that matter. They know if they make it, it's a big deal just to get to the playoffs. It's a big deal to make, and I get it's super exclusive, but I think it's killed the offseason mojo. That's just my opinion. Hagen Smith is going to shut out Stanford. Is he matched up against Stanford? Hold up. He's not. Is he starting? Is it that game 1? Oh, no. Okay. Stanford is game 2. My bad. I thought you opened up against Stanford. That's my fault. That's a matchup, y'all. I don't know a damn thing about Indiana or Louisiana, but Stanford's going to be a matchup. I'm pretty excited about that. If you go down there and you sweep, by the way, that's February 25th against Indiana, 4 p.m., then Stanford that following Saturday, 4 p.m. They're all 4 p.m., and then Sunday on the 27th against Louisiana. So, so Hagen Smith. Oh, boy. Woo, that's going to be the matchup there. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I mean, it's like $30. I've thought about it. I don't know. I don't know that I really care about, I don't know. Indiana might be a pretty good matchup. Hell, I mean, if you play like you did against Illinois State last weekend, hell, you may not win a single game. You may go 0 for 3, but then again, I like I said, I don't know anything about. I know Stanford's ranked, and I know they're supposed to be pretty good. There's only 3 teams that deserve to be in the playoffs, so I don't see why we need to expand. Yeah, I don't like that take because we've had upsets in bowl games so many times. You've had upsets. You've had smaller programs that aren't supposed to win. Like, to me, that's just a crazy take. Like, and then you also think about teams that just are difficult matchups for other teams. I don't know why you wouldn't want these games. I don't understand why anyone wouldn't want a playoff expansion. I don't get it. I don't understand the arguments against it. Not to mention, again, it's going to have an effect on players opting out, right? It's going to give more teams an opportunity to compete for the possibilities, and they probably won't get there. And listen, the odds are Bama, Ohio State, you're probably still going to have the same teams go furthest in the playoffs. But I feel like that's still a better system. If you don't do that, then in my opinion, then you should just go back to the BCS. I would take BCS era over 4-team playoff any day of the week. Those games, I don't know what it was. I can't explain it. There's just a certain magic to those BCS games. They were just special. It was like, oh, okay, these guys were good. They were good enough to make the BCS. And don't get me wrong, I get it. Like some teams are still going to get selected based on, or a lot of teams get selected based on their win total. I get it. But there was just a magic to BCS polls. I can't really explain it. Make the baseball game live. What? I don't know. Are you telling me to make the baseball game live? Yeah, I mean, if I pay for it, I might do that. I saw a stat 25, 32 games of the playoffs. It was the same 6 teams that played in them. I mean, you won't know unless you try, right? Hey, Ty, Hogs baseball play number 6 Stanford on Saturday. Yep, we were just talking about that, Tim. How confident are you in the team right now? What are your concerns? Biggest concern for me is timely hitting. It's timely hitting. I am. Listen, I think they'll get it figured out because their bats, like, dude, they've got so much power. Arkansas baseball has so much power. Like, they'll find their way out of it. My problem is, are we ever going to see small ball? Are they capable of playing small ball? Is it going to be home runs or bust? You know, if that's going to be the case, and I know last year they hit a ton of home runs, obviously, right? But I don't know, man. You've got some new faces in this lineup. I don't know that you can hit like you did a year ago. I don't know that you're going to hit as many home runs as you did a year ago. I feel like you're going to need to I don't know. Dave Van Horn will mess with the lineup, and he'll get it figured out as he always does. He's going to drop some games early. I'd be shocked if he didn't. Ty, if Arkansas wins Saturday, we will be the only team to beat the top 3: Auburn, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Yeah, I think that's right, Charles. I think you're dead on. Yeah, Tim, I don't know about your chances. I really don't. With me, and I don't know how you guys feel about college baseball in terms of like when you get a good feel for how good the team is. For me, it's like, let's get 3 series under our belt, just like basketball. Like I was telling you guys, let's look back on this team. What was it, 8 or 9 games into the season? It's the same thing for me with baseball. You know, let's see where they're at after 2 or 3 series in the SEC, right? The bowl opt-out problem began when the network that broadcast the college football playoffs invented the phrase "meaningless bowl game" in order to promote themselves and their product. Maybe, I don't know. Whatever. I think if you had a playoff expansion, I think it would limit that. Sorry, I was playing Arkansas in 360 in March Madness and missed some of the video. Oh, you're fine, Grant. Don't ever apologize. Try telling you guys, don't ever apologize for being here. I'm just glad you're here. Will Arkansas storm the court if they beat Kentucky? I'm going to say no. Colin Castleton, by the way, big fan. I'm going to say no. Again, I wouldn't blame anyone if they storm the court because I absolutely hate Kentucky. Like, you guys know how I feel about the 49ers as a Ram fan. I have an absolute hatred for the 49ers. I'm the same way with Kentucky basketball. I'm the exact same way with Kentucky. I despise Kentucky basketball. I'm never going to blame anybody for storming the court. Hell, I don't care if it's just one random guy out of the stands. And he's like, to hell with it. I'm taking my shirt off. We just beat Kentucky. Kentucky could be terrible. Kentucky could be awful. This could be like a few years ago. When you beat them with the Qualls dunk. I don't think that Kentucky team was that great. I'm trying to remember what that team did. I wouldn't blame anybody for storming the court. And if that guy, I don't care if he's 60 years old, bald, big old beer gut hanging out past his waistline like I've got going on here. I don't care, man. If he's going to storm the court because he beat Kentucky, that guy gets it. That guy gets it. We hate Kentucky basketball. Should they? I don't know. Honestly, yeah, I wish they would. If you beat Kentucky, big if. And I'll give you my pick here in just a minute. We'll talk about that in just a second. But I think I don't blame anybody. And you know what? If I were at the game, I probably would storm the court. If everyone else was going, I probably would. I don't know. Again, I'm not going to be someone on Twitter, oh, you should storm. You're crazy if you don't storm. I'm not going to do that. But I'll say this. If you do I will applaud you. Now, I know people are going to talk about the money situation. I don't know, man. I feel like I feel like they've got that covered, I don't know. Hey, Ty. What's up, Tim? Hey, Ty, ... What's up, Tim? And Joe Lenardi, we dropped. Yeah, so you're still a 6 seed on Lenardi's. You are. You're still a 6 seed. I'm not surprised by that. I told you guys, I felt like 6 seed is where you're at. And it feels like you've secured it. Now, if you let's we could go over all we want and still be off by a mile, but let's say you win only one of your next 3. Okay, and that one game it's against LSU. Right? Let's say you lose to Kentucky at home and you lose to Tennessee, but you beat LSU. I think you're still a 6 seed. Now, they think pretty highly of LSU, so that's going to probably help you, even though it's at home, maybe. I don't know. Nothing the net rankings do surprise me anymore. Like, how do you not move up after the week they just had? I don't understand these net rankings sometimes. I don't get it. But here we are. Let's say you only beat Kentucky at home and you lose your next 2 after that. I think you're still a 6 seed. I feel like you're a 6 seed, right? If you win out, I don't know. I don't even know where to go with that, because then it's like, well, holy crap, you manhandled the gauntlet, which a lot of people were saying was the toughest final 7 games of the season that anybody had to deal with, and you just did what? So God only knows how high you would go at that point. Winning at Tennessee, beating LSU, who's highly thought of for whatever reason. I think they're getting healthier too. That obviously is playing a role for LSU. And then beating Kentucky, who's the highest, who I think is the best team in the SEC. We'll see what they do in the SEC tournament. Something tells me like Cal's just like, you know what, we're locked in. I don't really care what we do in the SEC tournament. We all know they're good enough to win it, but I don't know that we should judge the SEC tournament. It almost feels like South Carolina would be the team that South Carolina could go in and probably get some big wins and make a splash, right? Florida, because Florida's desperate. Florida needs a way in. It's the teams that are desperate that you always have to watch out for in the SEC tournament. Yeah, there's so many different ways we could look at this. What if you go 2-1? Well, then you're probably sniffing a 5 seed. And then obviously we still have to chat about what you do in the SEC tournament. But if you're a 1 and done, which is unlikely but could happen, if you're a 1 and done, then what did you do in these final 3 games? All this is, we're just gonna have to wait till the dust settles. Because I can sit here and say I feel comfortable about this, that, or the other, whatever scenario plays out. But at the end of the day, man, we just don't know. And the best we can go by is whatever Lenardi says. He says right now you're a 6. We'll see if he changes his tune if you beat Kentucky and if you beat LSU and you drop 1 to Tennessee, right? You finish out 2-1. We'll see where he's at. But I feel like 6, as long as you get one more, as long as you don't go 0 for 3, I feel like 6 seed is where you end up if you go 1 for 3. And again, if you go 2 of 3, that changes everything, because those are some really big wins. Yeah, Tony, I don't really care where they play. Don't get me wrong. Hog fans travel. And the thing is, this team too, why they're going to be such a problem in tournament settings, and I'm going to say this until I'm blue in the face. I heard this several weeks ago, and I can't stop thinking about the way it's put. Defense travels in basketball. Defense travels. And that's not always the case. We've seen some great defensive teams have breakdowns on the road, but Arkansas's defense has played in some hostile environments, and they have won. So going to a neutral court, Hog fans are going to travel. We know that. Hog fans travel. I don't really care where they play, I'll be honest. That's a good question. Tim says, hey, Ty, coming to Arkansas on Sunday to celebrate the life of R.L. Williams of Clarksville. He passed away yesterday. It was a huge Hog fan. Rest in peace, Uncle R.L. Love you and Aunt Marilyn. Oh, that's cool. I also want to say really quick, I know it's not sports related. There's been, I think it's confirmed now, 130 deaths in Ukraine. I don't get political here. I don't do that. I leave my politics at the door. Sometimes I let stuff slip here and there. I've even said out loud here, like who I kind of support politically, but I'm not. I leave my politics. That's another podcast for another time. When Ty's in his 40s and he's fed up and he's now doing a podcast on politics. But I'm not going to comment on how to handle this because I really don't know. I don't have the answers. I'm definitely not one who's a fan of sending young men and women who aren't even old enough to buy alcohol to go die. But I've been, obviously we're all thinking about what's going on over there, and it's just something that, thoughts and prayers and all that stuff. To the best of our ability, whatever we know, whatever we can do here, it's really sad. And I think my wife came in shortly before I went live, and she said like 130 deaths. I've seen some footage of a fighter jet swooping in and dropping a bomb. Now, there's also, and it was a house, you could hear the children, the women and children. It was terrifying. I also saw another video of a guy bawling his eyes out, hugging his wife and child. I mean, it really is sad. And sports is where we go to escape from reality, and I realize that. And I try to avoid, like I said, I avoid stuff that just kind of makes you shake your head here. But I just wanted to say, just want to take a minute here to acknowledge what's happening over there, sending thoughts and prayers. I have a friend that is actually, well, I say he's not really a friend. I know him through mutual groups, but he's going to be traveling actually over there, and I wish him the best too. I hope he's safe. Stay safe over there. If you have anyone, apparently there's American journalists over there. Just, if you hear some names or whatever, and keep those people over there in Ukraine. They've had it rough since leaving the USSR. They've been trying to figure it out. The best thing in the world that happens is when communist countries fall apart. That's a good thing. I'm definitely anti-communist. I'll just say that loud and clear. Like, I think a lot of people really are, although you have this bizarre pro-communist sentiment on Twitter from these young dumbasses on Twitter. Like, guys, talk to people who've been there. But you have this situation with the Ukraine where they're trying to get it figured out, and it's been pretty chaotic. And now you've got this. I watched the Netflix thing the other night on them during their prime minister was supposed to vote to join the European Union, and then he didn't do it. And it's a crazy. If you're interested, if you're going to bed and you just want something to watch, type in Ukraine, and it should come up on Netflix. It's wild. It's not censored. I don't think much is censored. You see there's some disturbing images. It is crazy what those people have gone through. So anyone who leaves communism behind, they're going to get my high five and seal of approval. Looking at you, Cuba. You should be next. But they've had it rough, and I just wanted to acknowledge that. And again, I know one individual, friend, again, not really a friend. He's a mutual acquaintance, but he is a Hog fan. So, Matt, if you're watching this, man, wish you the best. Be careful. Be safe, please. All right. Yeah, I got to recognize the elephant in the room. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's really sad. I got a couple buddies that are deployed over there. Yeah, and there are troops over there. And again, if you have family or friends or whatever, man, say a prayer for them, right? Just got out of this stupid-ass COVID. Now we got to deal with Putin's dumbass. Big tech brainwashing. Well, I'm not going to get into that, but, All right, so let's get into this Arkansas-Kentucky game, shall we? Shall we? I'm excited, man. This is, I hate Kentucky. I hate Kentucky. Oh, one more thing. I hate them so much. I just wanted to skip right into it. Really quick. Solomon Wright, defensive tackle, 3-star, committed to Arkansas back in 2020. 6 foot, 390 pounder. You guys remember him out of Vian, Oklahoma? I think that's how you pronounce it. Vian, whatever, Vian. He's back in his home state, and he's expected to be a full participant for the Pokes He made their he's on the Oklahoma State spring roster. Again, he committed to Arkansas over Texas Tech. In fact, he flipped from Texas Tech the day the Hogs offered him. His dad was a former all Big 12 linebacker at Oklahoma State, and he played in the NFL from 2000 to 2005. So that's where Solomon Wright wound up. I think we heard about that on, was that yesterday? I think. But, yeah. Wouldn't have made the show anyways. It would have made tomorrow's show, so I'm glad we could talk about that really quick. So we wish him the best. Good luck, Solomon, right? I hate that you missed out. I hate that you're not here. I would really like to have seen you play your career out here. So good luck to him over there with the Pokes. Not the first Razorback in recent history to transfer to Oklahoma State. It's fairly close, so you understand it. Let's talk about these SOBs in blue. Kentucky, probably the best offense they are the best offense in the SEC. Guys to watch out for in this matchup, individual standouts. Oscar, I don't even have to say his name. Oscar Tshiebwe. This dude is a monster. Now, he's just now starting to climb draft boards. He wasn't before, but he's starting to now. I haven't seen any with him in the first round, but that doesn't mean that there's not a board out there. I didn't check NBC Sports, but this dude honestly kind of reminds you a little bit of Corliss. 6'9", about 260 pounds. He's a junior forward. He's an elite rebounder. He leads the country in rebounds per game at 15. He's also pretty good at forcing turnovers, where he's top 45 in steals. When's the last time you heard of a four spot, of a forward with these kind of numbers in the role that he plays in this Kentucky team on the floor? He's also leads the SEC and is fourth in the country in total double-doubles. He's got 21 double-doubles so far. That's more than double Jalen Williams in the category. Jalen, who I think it's 10. It is absolutely, this dude is insane. Oscar Tshiebwe is a monster. And we'll go over what he did recently. ESPN mock draft has moved Oscar up, citing an improved offensive game, which is one of the reasons why he wasn't anywhere near the first round before. He's not much of a scorer, but he's starting to figure it out, and he's getting up there in points. ESPN debuted Tshiebwe at number 44 overall on their board, and is the number 7 center in the most recent 2022 mock draft. Wheeler. Now, this is the thing. The question is Ty Washington and Severe Wheeler going to be available? I'm not so sure. They haven't practiced all week. They didn't play in their most recent matchup, their most recent game. Calipari said he wasn't so sure that they'd be ready to go against Arkansas, and I'll tell you guys again kind of where I'm at on that. But this dude is a lot of this team, a lot of what they do on the offensive end flows through him. Now, he's a little bit undersized. He's a 5'9", 180-pound junior guard. He's an assist machine, where he's top 3 in assists in the country, where he's averaging 7+ assists per game. Then you have Kellen Grady. This is a guy that can absolutely light you up outside. 6'5", 205-pound senior guard, one of the highest-rated three-point shooters in the country. He's shooting right now just north of about 45% outside, while attempting roughly about 5 to 6 threes per game. But if he gets hot, he will pull the trigger, and Calipari will let him pull the trigger. Ty Washington, again, we don't know if he's going to be good to go. 6'3". I've read a couple places where he's actually 6'4". Combo guard. He's another guy, assuming he's fully healthy and ready to go, Arkansas is going to have to keep an eye on. Ty Washington is dangerous. Looking at their team stats, their scoring offense, they're 9th in the country, 1st in the SEC. Assist turnover ratio, 23rd in the country, 1st in the SEC. You want to talk about why they're so good on offense, you got to look at that. That's a stat you have to pay attention to. That's a good stat that tells you plenty about what they're doing. They're not turning the ball over a lot, and they're racking up assists. 3% shooting. They're actually 64th in the country in 3% shooting, where they're, again, they're 1st in the SEC. That's kind of wild, isn't it? 3%, this percentage shooting-wise, they're 64th in the country. 3-point shots attempted per game, they're lower than Arkansas, which I think it's going to be tough for them to stretch the floor, and it's so imperative that Kellen Grady is knocking down shots for Kentucky. And they've got a couple of guys that can hit the three ball. But if they're unable to stretch the floor, Arkansas is going to make things really tough for Kentucky inside. Now, Shibwe, again, is a guy who can rack up some points down low. Again, they've got a couple of guys that are capable of scoring underneath. They could drive the lane. Ty Washington is one of those guys. Again, we don't know if he's going to be able to play, but he can absolutely drive. Good shooter, too. Their field goal percentage, they're top 10 in the country, first in the SEC. Something that stands out, and I have watched them play a little bit this year. I watched them a little bit yesterday. Their shot selection might be it's top notch. I mean, I haven't watched them play every game. Hell, I've only really watched a few games, and I've not watched them play a complete game from start to finish. But I've watched them play a little bit, or quite a bit, probably about the third most. I watched quite a bit of Auburn and Tennessee this year, watched a little bit of Florida, but they're in that mix. Kentucky, of course, is in that mix because they're Kentucky. But, you've only got so much time and so many channels. Well, then again, you should have all the channels these days because of the SEC Network and SEC Plus. But I have watched them play quite a bit, and something that stands out to me, again, it's high basketball IQ. That shouldn't shock anybody when we're talking about a Coach Calipari coach team. He's a good coach. Say what you want about him. Call him a sleazebag. Call him a cheater. All the stuff that he did to all these other schools where he was the head coach. Whatever. I don't care about that. The same for Pitino. Same for Bruce Pearl, right? We can go on and on. But you can spot a good coach, and this guy is someone who all of his guys on the floor play like they have played together for years. And that's something that I've always noticed about his teams, and this team is no exception. They are probably one of the best offensive products they have put on the floor since Calipari's been at Kentucky. This is a team that would not surprise me that could win the entire thing. And I know, you say that most years anyways about Kentucky, right? But this year it feels like it's especially true. They're really good on offense. And they also rebound damn good. They're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. Again, you got to look at Shibwe. They're sixth total in rebounds in the country, first in the SEC. Over the past 5 games, by the way, I'm trying to limit the soda, right? That's another thing you got to do when you're fat. You got to watch how much soda you drink. I'm trying to limit myself to like 1 a week. And I'm treating myself, let's say 1 a week, probably like 2 a week, maybe 3. Coca-Cola has this thing called, and again, obviously they're not sponsors, but they have this drink called Starlight. Maybe you've seen them at Walmart. It's interesting. I feel like I have I just ate a baked cookie. It's the strangest thing, but they call it Starlight. I feel like they should have called it like, I don't know. I don't know. It tastes like cookies. It tastes like something, but then you still have that Coke flavor to it, right? It's interesting. You know me, Baja Blast is the way to go. Back when I was drinking Mountain Dew way more than I should be, Baja Blast is where it's at. I'm a Baja Blast fan. But, yeah, Starlight's interesting. It's an interesting flavor once it hits the lips. Over the last 5 games, Devo Davis averaging 28 minutes, 10 points, 4 rebounds, almost 2 assists per game. Almost 2 assists, or right over 1 steal per game, shooting 50% from the field, 53% from 3. There's the carbonation coming back up, and nearly 78% from the free throw line. The previous 5 games, he's averaging almost, we have that was the last 5 games. My bad. Did I say 7? I'm going to say 5 if I did. He's obviously tearing it up. This is a guy that's coming off the bench. He's knocking down threes. It's not even that he's knocking down threes. They're opportunistic, and they're at the right moment in time 3-point shots. If he continues to play like this, there's going to be maybe there should be a legitimate conversation right now about should he be starting? Does he start Saturday in the lineup? Probably not. My guess is he's still going to come off the bench, but I'm absolutely loving the way Devo's playing. He is on defense. There was a point in time in the season where we were like, Devo is a square peg in a round hole on the offensive end of the floor. And I discounted him entirely. And someone brought up, yeah, but Ty, he plays because of his defense. You're not wrong. He's one of the top 3 defenders on this team. And now he's playing like one of the best. Like he's maybe the best or second best defender on the floor. And he's playing. He's out of his mind. He's playing absolutely out of his mind. Devo has been a huge reason for the turnaround. What did we say, man? I feel like everything that we were all asking for, it's like if they would only do this, if only Devo could get it figured out, we could get this guy off the bench. If we got the Devo from March Madness last year, if we got the Devo from last year, boy, we could be special. Look what's happening. Boy, if only J-Dub, if we could rely on him to get like 12, 13 points, if he could come close to maybe racking up some double-doubles, maybe getting like 8 or 9 rebounds a game. He continues that. Maybe he's a guy who could pump out a few double-doubles. If he could get it figured out on the offensive end on the floor, we know he's racking up assists and he's great at taking charges. He's a phenomenal utility player, maybe one of the best utility players in college basketball, and his ability to take charge. Man, if he could just figure it out on the offensive end. And he's done exactly that. And look what's happening. I'm done doubting Devo. I'm done. I never doubted Muss. It wasn't so much doubting Muss when I picked Arkansas to go on the road to lose to Florida. It's really just Arkansas doesn't win down there, no matter the sport. And also that, I didn't really know. Like Devo was a great defensive player, playing really well, but he was still I just weren't sold on him yet as a complete player. What you saw against Florida, and then you think back to what he's done recently, like, all right, I got to quit doing that. I got to quit doubting the guy. He's legit. He's playing legit. And you're going to need him against Kentucky without a doubt. It'd be nice if Amude, who's a guy who on the road this year has been phenomenal, at home, Be nice if he switched that up. Okay, so now he goes on the road against Florida, and he has a very meh kind of game. Be nice if he switched it up and he came back home and he has a big game. 14, 16 points, something like that. Tony's another guy who's kind of pretty good at finishing at the rim, a guy that was, great offensive rebounder, and then he's kind of, not really been the same. He's also lost minutes, too. I can feel that carbonation coming back up again for round 2. Let's see. Eli Lewis says if they do play, they might be a little rusty. I don't know who you're talking about. Well, I mean, they played Tuesday. If you're talking about Arkansas, they'll be fine. If they lose, it won't be because of rust. Please never do red out again. All 1,000 Shades of Red didn't look good on screen at least. Stick to the white out and stripes. Yeah, red out's never really been popular inside Bud Walton, as a matter of fact. Now, football games, it's great. Yeah, we already talked about Ryan Mallett, Grant. We were on that earlier, my friend. Devo has gotten confident. You're right, Will. He has. He absolutely has. Tony needs to literally get punched to get a foul. You're not wrong. Be nice to get some home cooking on Saturday, says John Hawes. Not really worried about him playing or not. Still think we take it. I know everyone here hopes Ty and Severe are out on Saturday. Listen, I'll tell you this much. I think even with them, I think Arkansas would play them really well. I think Muss, and this is the tricky part. Did he prep this week like he was like those two were playing? That's tricky to do with basketball because not all players are the same, right? Just because they play the same position and they sub somebody out for whatever. Well, this guy does these things differently, right? Well, this guy has an entirely different set of skills. So I don't know. It's going to be tricky. I'm curious to see how Muss responds to that with those two possibly being out and how Arkansas deals with Kentucky, especially, Kentucky has been down. I mean, they were down last night and they were down earlier in the year. I think it was to LSU or no, Bama. They were down 15 to Bama not long ago, and they came back and won the game. So big leads like Kentucky, even without their stars, even without two guys on the floor, they're still dangerous. And this is something that you cannot overlook with Kentucky. Yeah, they're missing some guys. Yeah, you got a double-digit lead, but hold up. They've closed the gap before. They've done that several times this year. They've been pretty good at it. Against LSU, and Pinson, by the way, back in the lineup. Pinson, who's back. All of a sudden, LSU, Pinson scored 26. Gaines scored 11 off the bench. LSU, they're getting, they're a great defensive team if they're getting things figured out on the offensive end. But Kentucky still held them to 37% from the floor total shooting. LSU did manage to get it going outside. They were 9 of 26. They shot 35% there, and they shot 83%. It was a pretty decent game. For Kentucky, you had Toppin, Sheboy, Brooks, Grady, and Mintz. They played. Sheboy ended up with 16 total rebounds. 17 points. 6 of those were offensive rebounds, by the way, and he had 3 blocks. They ended up with 5 blocks. LSU had 0. 12 turnovers, that's not far from the average, right, in the country. Like, that's not far. LSU is pretty good at forcing turnovers. I don't know what. One of my kids' hairs in my beanie. I think my kids have been wearing my beanie. I'm gonna have to keep the beanie off your head. This thing is holy. But yeah, Kentucky played really well. Again, they trailed. They were able to fight back. They ended up shooting almost 47% from the floor. They take a lot of high percentage shots, a lot of inside looks. That's what they are. Again, they don't shoot a lot outside. They only shot 12 times from the 3 last night. They made 2 of 12. And they were 71% at the free throw line. So they shot 47%. But again, you have to look at the shots that they made. It was a lot of inside easy looks, right? Like, they are good too at the mid-range game. They have guys that can knock down 15-footers. But the key is going to be, if you want, again, this seems like the most obvious thing in the world, but you want Sheboy going into the second half, you want him to get 2 fouls in this game early. You would love to get Sheboy into some early first half foul trouble. Get him into the 2 foul territory. This team, without Sheboy, like, it's one thing to have, a couple of these other guys out, but Sheboy would be huge to sit his ass on the bench for quite a bit in the first half. That might be your key to the first half. This guy is going to be a problem. He might only be 6'9", and people are going to say, well, he's 6'9". He's got what did I say in Discord last night? A 7'3" reach. His wingspan is 7'3". I mean, maybe it was longer. I think it was actually 7'4". I mean, this dude he just does it, man. He also shot really well at the free throw line, 7 of 11, 5 of 7 from the floor. He logged 38 minutes. He had 3 fouls. Mintz got into some foul trouble. He had 4 fouls. But they can go a little deep on you. They're not Tennessee deep. They're not going to go. I'd be surprised if they went more than about 9, which is what they do on average. But every one of these guys, well, actually, if they have if their 2 are back, if the 2 players are back, then you will have a deeper bench. You will have a deeper rotation for them if they have Wheeler and Washington back. I don't know that they are. I want to know. Let me know. What are your picks? Who you got? I want to know. I want to know. Those aren't the words. That's actually I want to hold your hand. I want to hold your hand. LSU is a different team with Pinson. They are. Pinson is back, and that's a problem. We will lock down Pinson. Yeah, Arkansas's done really good at taking big, especially guards that are so pivotal to what teams do. Arkansas, Musselman's done such a great job. Let me know what's your score. For those of you who are watching this after the fact, tell me. I'm worried about Sheboy, and Sheboy does give you some pause for concern, right? You watching him play, he's a damn good. The guy he's obviously a basketball player. Gonna need likes to come off the floor and come off the bench and play some outstanding basketball. Really, this is a game where even without their two starters, everyone needs to be firing on all cylinders. Chris Likes, who's he might have four cylinders, but my God, he's turbo. He's turbocharged. That little 4 cylinders turbocharged. You're gonna need these guys to play the best basketball they've played all year. Does that happen? I don't really know. Again, obviously Kentucky, 6th I think in net rankings, damn good team. They've managed to really. I mean, look, man, 23-5, right? You saw what they did. They went on the road against KU and beat the hell out of those guys, 80-62. They beat Bama on the road by 11, 66-55. Again, that was a game I believe they were trailing by 15 at one point. Maybe that was the at-home game against Bama. And one of those two games, they did end up beating them at home as well, 90-81. And then they beat LSU 71-66. Again, without two big pieces of that team. Yeah, they're dangerous. They're dangerous. They are, again, they're 11th. ESPN says they're 11th in the country, about 81 points a game. They're top 20 in rebounds. And they give up about 65 points a game. They're just a well-rounded team. I would argue their offense outweighs their defense, but damn, their defense is pretty salty too. Their defense isn't too far behind. So tell me who you got. Tyler Broadway says 73-62 Hogs. Joe says 75-70 Hogs. Playboy says Hogs 81, the Wildcats 79. Charles Harper, Ty, if we win the SEC tournament, which means we probably beat Tennessee twice and Kentucky or Auburn twice, can we move to a 2 or 3 seed? 3 seed for sure. Yeah, I think you could. If you won out, it just kind of depends on what you do from this point on, from here until you play Tennessee on the road. If you sweep, if you're winning the SEC championship in the tournament, then you probably sweep this final part of your schedule. Right? That would be, well, maybe not. I don't know. I know that's a neutral site thing, but what to do, Ty? If Ty and Wheeler are out of this game, then the Hogs have a legit shot at beating them down by 10 with Kentucky at full strength. See, this is what I like. I say 77-75 on a last-second putback by Arkansas. I like that. That's kind of similar to the Qualls dunk. When that last second, that's one of the greatest plays I've ever seen happen live. Like, probably the greatest thing I've ever seen happen in Hog Sports Live. Kenneth Anthony says 72-69 Hogs, low-scoring game. Okay. Without Wheeler and without Washington, I agree. I think Arkansas wins this thing by close to or above double digits. Kentucky is good. I don't know if they've played a defense like the level that Arkansas is playing at right now. Now, I went on a tangent yesterday talking about defense in Discord. I was talking about it, and those of you who were there, probably some of you saw it. I was saying, look, this defense, the level they're playing at, this is Arkansas, the way they're playing on defense. And now you've got J-Dub who's doing his thing offensively, along with everything else, being that utility player that he is. You've got Devo coming off the bench. Now he's not just a great defender. Now he's knocking down threes. He's taking better shots. He's not turning the ball over a ton. Now he's looking closer to like the Devo that we all know or remember from last year in March Madness. He's at that level, I think, right now, the way he's playing. You got Likes coming off the bench who's bought into his role, and he's getting some pretty decent minutes, and he's not turning the ball over a lot. I saw a stat from him, actually. I don't have it pulled up, but I thought it was interesting if I could find it. Over the last 7 games, Chris Likes has emerged as a very solid guard option off the bench in that span. He's averaging 5 points, almost 3 assists, 2 steals a game in those 7 games, averaging just 0.9 turnovers. On top of that, he's 100% from the free throw line in those 7 games. That's coming from JC Hoops. I know a lot of you know who that is. Go follow him on Twitter. He's a damn good follow for Arkansas basketball. That guy is one of the best in the business. He's absolute. He's right, and he's giving you the reason why. He's giving you receipts. You've got guys, they're playing at such a high level on defense, and their offense is still one of the tops. I mean, they're top 4 in the SEC. I mean, they're don't get me wrong, I still have issues with their three ball. They're not a team that can really stretch the floor. They're not really a threat from outside, and that is a little bit of a concern, but do they improve in that department from here on out? Are we starting to see them turn it around? Is it, maybe not the amount of shots outside, but the better shot selection. They're actually hitting contested or uncontested shots. There's better shot selection being made outside. Are we watching this team morph into a Final Four team before our eyes? I'm starting to think that we are. I still say their ceiling still feels Elite 8 to me. Or, well, I'm sorry. I had him at Sweet 16. I shouldn't say still because I haven't had him Elite 8. I should say in my mind I've had him in Elite 8 for a little while, but lately I haven't really said that. I've said their ceiling is Sweet 16. That's what I said at the beginning of the year. We're starting to see it all come together the way we thought we would see it a couple of months ago. If this were the same team that we're seeing lately, earlier in the year, you're probably a 1 or 2 loss team right now. We'd be talking about how do we get that 1 seed. Like that would be the conversation we'd be having right now. Are we a 1? I guess you would be a 1 seed at that point, for sure. But I think we're seeing them morph into something more, and I think now I'm putting them at their ceiling Elite 8. Now, matchups do matter, and consistency matters, but if we know one thing about Musses, we haven't seen them really regress. They've had moments, and it's not to say that they can't regress. Listen, they're still human, man. These aren't machines, right? These aren't super advanced aliens or robots on the floor. They're humans. Things can happen. Things can break down on the floor. What opponents do to you, how they match up against you, these things happen. But damn if I don't think this is like an Elite 8, and are they morphing into a Final Four caliber team where maybe they can make it that far, where they're good enough. That talent's coming together. Someone asked me, what team would you take this year or last year's team? And, man, the more you watch these guys, it's like, damn, I think I might take these guys. Like the way they're playing, you feel like the talent is as good or better. Yeah, you're still missing, the Smiths and all that. Like I get it. But you've got guys that are playing at a level on defense that sometimes that you didn't really even see at this point. Even last year, you didn't see him playing at this point defensively. The turnaround has been incredible, and it's just some great basketball. Musselman will continue to be. Teams are going to write articles about him, right? You're going to have, oh well, he's not happy at Arkansas, so now he's going to, he's thinking about leaving. Listen, I think the only way he leaves is if the right NBA team comes a calling. I just have a hard time seeing him leaving behind what's happening in Fayetteville. I mean, the culture change has been incredible. You feel like this is where you thought Mike Anderson was going to take you, but he's even exceeded that, what we thought Anderson would give us. Obviously, he's surpassed what Mike actually gave us. Really proud of what they've done, and I do think they'll beat Kentucky no matter who they have on the floor Saturday. If they do have those two, Wheeler and Washington back, I still like them. It'll be a way difficult game, way more difficult game. It's still going to be a difficult game. It could be a back-and-forth game. It could be a game where you blow a 14-point lead, or it could be a game where they blow a 14-point lead. But it feels like absolutely, again, anything can happen. I think I've said that every game, but that's just the case. And yet they also proved me wrong on the road against Florida. In my initial reaction pre-Florida was Arkansas probably loses to Florida and turns around and maybe loses at home and probably loses at home at Kentucky. But I'm not doubting them. I'm done doubting Devo. I think they've got it put together, and the product on the floor is premium product. It's nice. It's nice to see it. For those of you who know the retail talk, it's nice to see that product on the end cap. You're proud of that. And the end cap, by the way, is the thing right in front of you when you walk down the aisles, right? And you come out of an aisle, you've got the sign above you that tells you what's there, and then right in front of you that splits the aisle, they've got a case of they got cases of Dr. Pepper. Those are called end caps. That's, or they put them on the end of the aisle. That's what an end cap is. It's out there on display for everybody to see. I worked retail for entirely too long at Sam's Club. It's a beautiful product, and you're proud to have it displayed on the sales floor, I guess. Yeah, I like Arkansas. So it is two different stories here because, again, you're talking about two big pieces missing. If Wheeler and Washington are out, I'm taking Arkansas plus 8, 10, 12. I don't know. But with those guys, it's going to be a damn fight. But I would still take Arkansas. Maybe it's a game where at that point it takes a couple of possessions, right? It comes down to the last 2-3 possessions. It could still be that way. Kentucky is Kentucky. And this is a damn good Kentucky team on the floor. But, yeah, I like Arkansas. I like the Hogs, baby. Woo pig! That's what I'm talking about. Sweet 16 is very likely. The NCAA will give us the hardest bracket. Arkansas will be playing a 1 or 2 seed in the second round. Well, we'll see. We'll see, Michael. You don't have to be that pessimistic. You guys call me pessimistic. Hey, Ty, reflect on how everyone was feeling when we were 0-3 in SEC play. Told you guys to hold on. I did take them out of the tournament, by the way, and I think I was right, and I think a lot of people were saying the same. Like, that was not a tournament team. That wasn't. And that's what makes this turnaround so insane. Let Muss under the hood. Let him install the turbo engine. Let him do his thing. Let him put those $500 Michelin tires. Here I am. Worked in a tire shop for 8 years. I can't even say Michelin. Put those Michelin Hydro Edges on. Those are good tires, by the way. You should Google. Michelin Hydro Edges were phenomenal. They don't make them anymore. They got like 100,000 miles. I'm not kidding. Those are phenomenal tires. Or for you truck guys, the Michelin LTX AT2s or the BF Goodrich TAKOs. There you go. Some of you are like, you just went from 6 to midnight, some of you. Last year's bracket was brutal. I don't think it'll get worse. You've got the respect factor, so maybe that'll help. Kenneth Anthony says, Ty, I really think this is a game. This game, hold on. I really think that this game will depend on the two main guys on both ends, Jay Will and against Kentucky, Oscar T, whoever played well, win this game. That was really hard to read. Yeah, that's going to be a brutal matchup. You're not wrong. Sheboy and J-Dub, that's going to be a matchup. Get ready for a second round matchup with North Carolina. I want a second round matchup with North Carolina. Okay. Arkansas defense is elite, but doesn't get the credit. Yeah, look, they don't. You're not wrong, and it's because of the way they started out, without a doubt. Okay. So obviously no show tomorrow. I want you guys to enjoy your Friday. I'm going to have a good night because this means I don't have to get up super early, take the kids to school in the morning. It means I can stay up late and play Elden Ring. I'm really excited about that. That launches at 11 p.m. I'm going to be playing that tonight on the PS4 Pro. Really excited. Really excited. I've been waiting for this game for a really long time. But Friday, enjoy it. Soak it in. I think the roads are they're getting better. We were just out, my neighbor and I were just out on Butterfield Coach over here on the east side of Springdale, and it was fine. And if east side of Springdale's fine, then I'm sure Fayetteville and the campus is probably okay. So I don't think that's going to be a concern. I mean, cross your fingers, right? Everyone's safe on the roads. If you're traveling, please be careful if you're coming up for the game. Take your time, wear your seatbelt, and if you're in town and you're celebrating Arkansas whooping that Kentucky ass, get you an Uber, right? Don't drink and drive, my friends. Just don't do that. I want you to call an Uber, all right? Be smart. Be smart. Have fun. Again, enjoy your Friday, and we'll be back Saturday, post-game. Again, I'm taking the Hogs. I don't know. I guess I have to give a score. I don't know if it doesn't feel like it's going to be an 84-80 kind of game or 88-80, whatever. I'm going to say 76 Arkansas. No. I'm going to say 79. I'm close to 80. See what I'm doing there? 79 Arkansas. I say they win by 9, 79-70. I don't pick odd numbers. I hate odd numbers. I'm weird like that. I'm weird. It's like an OCD thing. I hate picking odd, but I'm going to go odd this time. I'm going to say 79-70. That's got to be the first time this year I've done that. But this game is weird, so it kind of it falls in place, right? So, yeah. Okay, I'll see you guys Saturday, post-game show. It ought to be a hoot. One way or the other, win or lose, it ought to be a hoot. And then, of course, Nick, the following week, we'll get prepared for the rest of the season. And we might, hopefully we're inching our way to spring camp, and hopefully we'll have some updates on what's going on with that in the coming weeks. So, Woo Pig, enjoy your Friday. I'll see you guys Saturday. Go Hogs. Woo Pig Suey.